Not long back, there was this period where the employment prospects for me were so bad that thinking of slavery in exchange for 2 cups of free coffee was a distinct possibility. A time when pink toilet paper reminded me of a possible pink slip. The time when you wanted to sleep with a crucifix under your pillow to ward off all nightmares of your HR manager. Things were so strange that it was the only time when society would not judge someone not having a job because society didn't have one. It was 2008 and the recession had even become an excuse for constipation. We had just graduated from college. Me and my close friend Pradeep Chandra. We couldn't make the cut when it came to placements as we believed that placements gave room for complacency to creep in and made one overlook the immense gift of being synergistic with dissatisfaction. Okay, honestly, we sucked at a variety of things. But that didn't hinder us from trying. So right after the completion of our exams, we created new resumes, adapted from the already existing ones. On our resumes, Pradeep and I had just about the same qualifications, hobbies, and once the same mother. I remember 9 years ago standing in a queue with Pradeep to get an engineering seat. I remember my father saying, "Ek chemical engineering please," to the lady at the admission counter. It seemed as if he was buying a kg of tuar dal from an Apna Bazaar counter. And I also remember vividly watching the lady at the admission desk look at him with utter disbelief, as if you just asked the woman at the Apna Bazaar counter about her opinions on the principle of objectivism. She said, "He has good marks. Take computer engineering." That was it. 8 words. And my father decided, okay, one computer engineering please. We belong to middle class backgrounds. Pradeep's father had a very tedious mechanical job, whereas my father had retired from working as a system operations specialist. Born in this middle class background, we were all set to achieve those goals we were meant to all our lives, which was 1, find a job, 2, find a better job, 3, update our Bharat matrimony profiles, 4, get married, 5, go to the US, and finally, decide our children's future. We were not even close to getting to the first milestone. Like every other citizen of Navi Mumbai, we surged ahead with lots of hope and heavy breakfast every morning. Commuting in the local train among some protracting perverts with sleazy looks on their faces. We would not be thwarted by these omens though. We approached companies that ranged right from multi-story edifices to those with shutters and common toilets. These were the times when we were shooed away by gatekeepers, giving us a whiff of the life of that door-to-door salesman selling non-stick frying pans. During this period, we were good when it came to identifying a company as an IT company. They had last names. either metric, soft, or tech. Unimetric, Unitech, Sula soft, People soft, very soft, really soft, ultra soft. But cracking the aptitude was like finding a window seat in the Virar local. It just wasn't happening. There were times when we would blindly push the glass door and ask the receptionist what the name of the company was. Pradeep once confessed that the number of rejections he faced had overwhelmingly surpassed the number of girls he only gawked at. Now that's a serious new low. With increasing number of rejections, expiring season ticket passes, no girlfriend woes, and varying prices and tastes of samosa pav everywhere, we sat absorbed in our own blue funk. To make matters worse, Pradeep's father retired from his job due to unforeseen circumstances. My father decided to have a massive heart attack. I had taken a break from wandering in the wilderness with a resume, dressed up like a salesman, to be in the cardiac ward with my father. Whereas Pradeep was still on the lookout. My father was recommended a bypass surgery. Pradeep would call me and give me reasons as to why this time, just like every other time, he failed the aptitude test. It was tough for both of us, looking after our dads, because in a way, we had to transcend, or at least temporarily take places of men who have been heroes all our lives. Days went by. I was strangely enjoying the hospital food. Pradeep was setting a new record for the number of rejections. Just then, we got a call from a company named Geometric Solutions. They had openings for hapless wanderers, also known as freshers. I didn't want to miss out on this opportunity, but my dad's bypass surgery was scheduled on the same day. My elder sister asked me to give the aptitude a good shot, as she assured me that she would be around at the time of the operation. I didn't want to go, but this was Geometric Solutions. They even had metric right in the name. Pradeep and I finally saw each other again. We could see the agony of this lingering tyranny on each other's faces. I could clearly read, "My father retired," on his face. Whereas Pradeep read, "Asian Heart Institute has the best cafeteria in this world," on my bloated cheeks. We entered the lobby, trying our best to look like future stiff-necked shaven mavens that Malcolm Gladwell always talks about. We were already awestruck. We were surrounded by glass doors, fire extinguishers every 2 meters, spotless floors reflecting another world within them, and a receptionist wearing a fake smile and loads of foundation. "Wow, look at the foundation," Pradeep said. It was substantial. We were then taken to one of their training rooms, and the distribution of the aptitude test papers was about to start. We both knew how big this was for the two of us. This was our only chance to give it back to those stereotypes who believed campus placement rejects our prospective BPO employees. The room was filled with 45 other people who looked just like us. The same mixture of competence and desperation. We were the army of the overeducated. The paper distribution had just started. Pradeep looked at me. I could see sparks in his eyes. I looked back at him. I knew what was coming. Pradeep, with his eyes glued into mine, said, Dude, I bet the samosa pav out here is very expensive. We got our papers, and within the stipulated 60 minutes, we completed our test. It was challenging, but within our range of what we had expected. We had to wait for about 20 minutes at the reception before being called by one of their senior employees. We gathered into the room where our tests were conducted. They started calling out names. Vishal Sahani, Ravindra Shanbag. Both of us now hoping to hear our names as well. Jagannath Nadar, Nilesh Tavde. Pradeep was getting restless and his nervousness was very evident when he said, "I hope we hear our names too." Just then, I heard Shekhar Shinde, Rohit Nair. I jolted on my seat and slapped my chest as my celebration started. This was my Rocky Balboa moment. Just then, I spotted a girl showing her displeasure at my celebration. Look at him, she. I bet he's from Navi Mumbai. I think it reminded her of Virat Kohli, I guess. I waited while they finished the list. Pradeep held his breath. I held my breath. Pradeep's name wasn't called out. With a half smile on his face, he patted my back and congratulated me. Just then, the coordinator asked us to follow him. As we moved out of the room, I noticed the nameplates with designation mentioned on each door. I looked towards the left, General Manager, HR Manager, CEO, CTO, CIO, ladies, gents. Even they looked so elegant. These names shone under a luminescent yellow light. They were uniform in their appearance. As we moved forward, my aspirations were marching towards having my own door with the nameplate shining under my own light. Just then, I saw another door with text in bold green color saying, "Exit." Before I could turn back or look at the coordinator in disbelief, he nonchalantly said, "Thank you for coming. Have a nice day." Pradeep had qualified for the next round. The sun was bright outside. And I was suddenly overdressed. I couldn't fathom this unjust treatment towards us challenged mortals. What really struck me was not this failure, but the fact that I would now be all alone in these job searches, devoid of my best friend's company. Before I could sit back, think even more, sulk, cry, squeal, thumb my chest, and tell my fellow reject to have some self-respect and stop laughing, I got a call from my sister, and she broke the news of my father's surgery being a success. The doctors had borrowed a vein from his hand and bypassed the defaulting blood vessel by creating a new route. My feeling sorry for myself had to wait. After all, my dad being okay put things in perspective. More importantly, Pradeep got kicked out in the next round. So I was very, very happy. Thank you.